What's up YouTube? Welcome to another episode of AQE World. Today, I think I'll do something a little bit different and provide my thoughts on some articles that I found online, and I'll discuss it and provide some opinions of my own. But first, a disclaimer. I am in no way an expert on the subject matter, and I'm just providing my perspective as an outsider. So, let's go. From this article, I do believe that smarter AI can provide better matching of interests and personalities between users, because nowadays there are just too many people and choices and options for a normal person to filter through. But throwing AI at dating services is just like painting a crack on a collapsing building, because this kind of so-called solution doesn't actually solve the problem of the Japanese people not having enough babies to sustain the population. We've seen many articles and news like these in the past. While I applaud the fact that the Japanese government is trying to do at least something about it, it is simply not effective. Tax cuts and financial incentives can only take it so far. So something much more than that is needed to address the problem. So from here on, I will address these issues in different segments. Work-related culture. Let's start with the culture of overworking in Japan. There have been countless cases of corporate employees who died from working too much. One infamous accident in Japan is this woman who worked as a public broadcaster at NHK before she died from heart failure after logging over 159 hours of overtime, and she actually took 2 days off, but she still died. Sometimes, after official working hours, workers don't even dare to leave their offices early if their superior is still sitting in the office. Now, this is due to the seniority system, which is deeply embedded within the Japanese society. And oftentimes, employees are expected to have group hangout sessions after work as well, which is called nomikai sessions. Now, such sessions are viewed as networking sessions in Japan, and participation in such events could be made compulsory in order for the superior to even consider the employee for promotion opportunity. And at times, this nomikai session could happen every single day or every other day. On the other hand, women who are pregnant or women who have just come back from maternity leave are subject to discrimination from their companies. This discrimination is called the maternity harassment. The most common discriminations are unfair treatments or psychological harassments. For mothers who are pregnant and for mothers who are also employees of a certain company, they are actually given the suggestion to not return to their jobs at all, with comments thrown against them like, "There is no place for you at this company after you give birth." For the same reasons, for mothers who have just come back to work after giving birth may suddenly find that they have been demoted or even forced to a non-regular position, or just straight up be fired.
You're fired.
And this is all just because the mothers want to have their baby. Social expectation. One thing that makes it harder for women in the working culture in Japan is the societal expectation for women. So women have two choices. Either they can focus on their careers or they can become a mother. Those who try to choose both will actually come under intense criticism from both their families and the society. So naturally, most women will just choose to have a career. And this comes from the strong tradition that men should work and women should stay at home. Government-related causes. Insufficient public childcare facilities. Some parents had to quit their jobs in order to take care of their young ones, all because the slots for daycare are limited and there are only so many babysitters in Japan who are happy to take the job. That's just sad. Economic-related reasons. Ever since the economic bubble burst, regular employment rates have been falling. So companies rely more and more on freelance workers or part-time workers, which are also called irregular workers, because the irregulars do not need to receive any work benefits, for example, commuting subsidies or pay raises during hard times. And these irregulars are also subject to a lower grade of salary, and they have very little chances of advancing their career, unlike the regular workers. Alternative lifestyle-related reasons. So when you have so many options to choose from, you don't necessarily need a family to enjoy life, unlike in the past where choices are limited. For example, now you can enjoy going for movies or travel the world, visit the countryside, hang out with friends. Yeah, who needs children, right? Also, entertainment in Japan is of course very addicting and distracting. It is extremely easy to lose yourself in the sea of constant pleasure. Here are some few ways that I can think of to help and correct the core problems. Increase the public childcare facilities available to the parents so that parents can easily and conveniently drop their children off at these centers before going to work, and they don't have to worry about limited slots for their kids. Get rid of the toxic attitude in Japan that forces women to either have a career or go into motherhood. For example, in Malaysia, mothers are doing both without any problem and with no criticism at all. Remove the unnecessary work from people in Japan so that they don't end up overworked. Because despite working 9 to 12 hours a day, people hardly get their jobs done. Unless for urgent reasons, I would suggest that employees be encouraged to go home early. In addition, the seniority system could be relaxed in certain situations. Also, perhaps the group hangout sessions after work could be reduced in frequency. The so-called nomikai sessions, although it's a networking opportunity in Japan, and although such participation in events can provide opportunities for a promotion, it's alright if it's done once in a while, but not every single day. Because to your boy AQE, a hangout session with your colleagues every day is simply too much. It may be a social thing, but definitely everybody needs some alone time for themselves. Remove the attitude on discouraging staff or workers from taking their leaves, because every single employee has the right to take leave and live their life. Come on guys, life is more than just working. So AI matchmaking is not gonna help much in this area, and therefore more financial and social reforms are needed in order to have more impact. So if you have any other opinions apart from the ones that I've mentioned, please feel free to comment and drop a thought in the section below so that I can also learn about how you feel about this problem in Japan. So that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching, and if you're a Japanese government, I hope that you will fix the problem and get all the women in Japan happy again. Take care, see you later.